the pick is in.
Yes.
In fact, all the picks are in
Yes.
for the Los Angeles Chargers. We're here today to go over the Chargers 2024 draft class in its entirety.
Yes.
We have the listing of the UDFAs, but want to say welcome to Chargers Outside Zone. I'm Chuck.
I'm Thomas.
And from our last video that we put out, our Chargers NFL mock draft, we want to thank the 3 subscribers.
Yes, we do.
That was awesome. And hope to put out more content here moving forward, but we'll go ahead and get into our draft class.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and show it here in its entirety. We'll go pick by pick here in a little bit. The 2 that are in white are the trade up for Ladd McConkey, and then the pick swap that ultimately resulted in the Tarheeb Still pick.
Yep.
But that is the list. We take a look at Daniel Jeremiah's what we call mock drift.
Yes.
For the second year in a row, Daniel Jeremiah hits on the Chargers pick, but in his mock draft 2.0.
Well, he does cover the Chargers.
He covers the Chargers, but he also puts out, a mock draft for the first round, all 32 picks. I think it's kind of interesting that, potentially in there, he that second one has a little bit of time to think about it. And then maybe mock draft 3.0 is just overthinking because, projected trade with the Jets, the Chargers stuck in pick. What he wrote here on his second mock draft was, this feels like a statement pick. We can all agree with that. And we think
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz were trying to make a statement. Seeing how it'll be Jim Harbaugh's first selection since becoming the Chargers head coach.
Yes.
Alt would take over at right tackle in short order. Keep in mind that new GM Joe Hortiz, I'm going to always butcher that name, by the way, came from Baltimore, where eventual Pro Bowl Hall of Famer Jonathan Ogden started at guard his rookie year before taking over at tackle.
That's a little rich for my blood.
So that's what he wrote. And
comp-wise.
So we will get into Chargers pick at number 5, as mentioned before. Offensive tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. I wrote up here at the top, I said, best OT in the 2024 NFL draft. And what we've heard the last couple of days is consistent play, not, 1 or 2 plays elite, but just down in, down out consistency. So that seems to be what the Chargers are getting here with the 6'8" and 5/8 inch Joe Alt, 321 pounds, has the arm length 34 1/4.
Yes.
A fast 40-yard dash time, and vertical and broad, not overly concerning. But you see here in his web that he populates that web pretty nicely.
Yeah.
And if we take a look at his courtesy of Kent Lee Platt at MathBomb, his RAS score, he is a 9.93. I think from whatever dates that Kent Lee Platt has gone back to, this is number 13 for an RAS score for an offensive tackle. That's quite impressive from a height, weight, speed. And I think here, you have in yellow the weight and the vertical. So if there's 2 categories on this chart that, is it a big deal to be yellow for an offensive tackle? I mean, he's well above the 300 pounds, so he's not 360, 390 or whatever, so he's probably got a good weight that he's carrying.
I would want a little bit more.
Well, as your boy Ben Herbert gets a hold of him, he may add a few pounds or some good weight. Not bad weight, good weight.
For the offensive line.
But as at his age and a father that played in the NFL,
yes,
I bet you he's very close to his playing weight, and vertical jump for a tackle.
It is.
I don't know if you need a tackle to go up and.
I don't know if you need a 40 time. as well.
Well, the 40 time does help with, if you decide to pull him from if he's on the right tackle spot, pull into left. But the interesting part for me with drafting Joe Alt, who's played at left tackle, obviously you have Rashawn Slater there. And you play Joe Alt at right tackle in place of Trey Pipkins. But what does this mean long term? Do you think this means that the Chargers have no intention? Jim Harbaugh, Joe Ortiz, do you think they have any plans to sign Rashawn Slater, keep him at left tackle, and
I would sign him.
you would sign him? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It does give you the opportunity to allow.
He was a Pro Bowler.
He is a Pro Bowler. But it does give you the opportunity to let Rashawn Slater walk in free agency. Now it just becomes a salary cap decision there.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, if he's asking for too much money, let him walk. But
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's going to be asking for top of market
let's see what
as a Pro Bowler within his
Let's
first.
see what top of market is, though.
It's going to be well north of 20. I imagine it's going to be around 25 million a year, and so that'll be then a question of what they want to do. I don't know if.
Let's also see who. Let's also see how much cap we have.
All right, let's move on to that second round.
Yes.
The Bills went wide receiver Keon Coleman with the first pick in the second round. Then very quickly, the trade happens. The Chargers moving up 3 spots.
Yeah. Which he could have went in 3 spots.
Oh, most definitely. Definitely great for the Chargers to go up and get him instead of leaving it up to chance. So they go up 3 spots, and they grab Ladd McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia.
Great pick.
Great pick. We stated in our last episode that they needed to get a wide receiver early. So is that at 5? Is that at 37? They get their wide receiver at 34. Ladd McConkey, from what we see on the internets,
Yes.
best route runner in the 2024 NFL draft.
Yes.
So
out of the top 3.
Well, out of the, once you move past that top 3 of Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze,
he is the best.
He's the best route runner. So to bring him in to the Chargers after trading away Keenan Allen, this definitely helps add to the wide receiver room, and you start to feel better about that first round pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ladd McConkey, 5'11" and 5'8", 186 pounds. Runs a 4.39, 36-inch vertical, 124-inch broad jump. Not overly concerned about the bench. Not even sure why wide receivers do the bench, but okay, sure, what have you. I think what we would like to see
is him on the field 70 to 80%.
Yeah, definitely him on the field.
Of the time.
Yeah. But we would, the lazy comparison is to what? Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp.
Right. But Cooper Kupp was 6'2", 204 pounds when he came out in 2017. So a little bit different body type.
Yes.
Cooper Kupp's calling card is a 6.75 second 3-cone.
Yep.
Which was 83 percentile for Cooper Kupp. But if we look at Ladd McConkey, his vertical is a 36-inch, where Cooper Cup's vertical was 31 inches. Somewhat strange. Somebody as athletic as Cooper Cup
Would
only jumped 31 inches. I mean, I couldn't jump 31, but in the
yes
relative,
in the football term.
yeah. For Lad McConkey to have a 36-inch vert, 124-inch broad, whereas Cooper Cup was 116-inch broad jump, so a little bit more explosive. Let's see how that translates, right? We don't see the 3-cone drill to know if, he has that elite short area quickness.
But he is a
It
crisp.
seems like it would be there.
Yes.
So, but as you see, he's not, he doesn't fill out the web in the areas where it's obvious that he doesn't fill out the web. But that 4.39 speed, route running capability, adding to that room,
Yes.
line him up in the slot, line him up on the outside.
Yes.
Obviously, Greg Roman will have to put him to work where he best fits, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So that is Lad McConkey and his spider web. Now, if you look at his RAS score,
It's still
9.34, it's green. He's poor in the areas where, you look at him and he's short and lightweight, so that makes sense.
Yes.
His bench is low. His vert is somewhat low. It, relative to, say, Cooper Cup, it's better than Cup. But then his grades on his 40 and his shuttles. Well, he actually has a shuttle here on the RAS. I guess I should have paid attention to that before the show. Huh?
Yes.
So his 3-cone most likely ran at his pro day shows up as a 6.72. So that would be
not.
That would be in that Cooper Cup range, 83%.
What we're basically saying with Lad McConkey, get him with Cooper Cup. Let him. let him
they play in the same building, right?
Yes.
They're in the same city.
Let him.
If he can train with Cooper Cup and learn from
Yes.
the Triple Crown winner from a couple years ago,
Yes.
that would be great for the Chargers.
I
I don't know
mean-
how much Sean McVay would enjoy that, but
Yeah.
they'd already do tight end U. Why not? Why not a little, Cooper Cup sharing his expertise with Lad McConkey? Love it. All right, we'll try to pick up the pace here as we get into some of these picks.
That's what we're basically saying with Lad.
Yeah. All right. In round 3, pick 69, Jim Harbaugh goes back to the University of Michigan and grabs a linebacker of
Homer.
his. Yeah, Homer pick here with Junior Colson out of Michigan.
Yeah.
The note that I put at the top was familiarity at a critically important position on the defense.
Yes.
Obviously, the Chargers have struggled with inside linebacker, overdrafting Kenneth Murray. I think that's an easy statement to make.
Yeah.
Looking, Deion Henley was drafted last year, signing Eric Kendricks. Drew Tranquil walks and then starts playing awesome for the Chiefs.
Inside the same division.
Yeah. So
What the hell?
So to have Jim Harbaugh, Jesse Minter's linebacker that was part of their national championship team,
Yes.
that familiarity coming in, whether it's in practice, OTAs, or eventually into training camp, installing the defense, I think ultimately this is a home run pick. When I look
Yes.
at what he did in the leading up to the draft, where we only have his height, weight, wingspan, arm length, and hand size
He fills out the web.
on those things, but did he already know that Jim was going to draft him? Because he didn't show anything, and nobody knows what was he like. Well, I'll just wait on coach to take me.
Yeah.
His math bomb RAS score here is very blank.
What the hell?
When you don't do anything, but so I think
Well,
here, I think maybe the Math Bomb RES score goes back so far that, linebackers are getting smaller. So I'm not overly concerned about 6'2", 238.
yep.
Once again, I think Ben Herbert will
Add some
get him into playing shape and be ready to go.
shape. Yeah.
All right. At pick 105 in the fourth round, Chargers go defensive lineman Justin Aboybe. Aboybe.
A boy B.
Yeah. Out of Alabama.
I mean, trust Nick Saban.
What I put here as the comment was some help to stop the run on the defensive line. I think from what we've seen, potentially some injuries drop this player down to the fourth round. So
that could also be said about the defense in general in this class.
Yeah. So if you get a healthy Justin Aboybe, that could be great things. If you look at his PFF score, more of a run stopper than a pass rusher.
Yep.
And as Chargers fans,
we
need run stopping. We don't care what form it comes in.
We need to stop a nosebleed.
Yeah. We'll get pass rush from other folks like a Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack.
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And, we just need solid defensive line play.
We'll get a pass rush from
other places.
The pick that we did last year.
Thule. Yeah. Yeah, and Joey, Khalil, Thule, all being back. Chris Rump, the second, still on the roster. You see here 6'4" and 3/8", 297 pounds. One thing that stuck out to me more about the offensive tackle taken in the first round is Joe Alt is 25 pounds heavier than Justin and ran a 5.05. It's 6'8" and change.
Okay.
Here he's running a 5.18. So I think it's quite impressive, for Joe Alt to have run a 5.05. But just that's one thing that I saw. His RES score is not great.
Yeah, that's not great, Bob. That's not.
But
yellow. At least it's not in the red.
There's plenty of red on here with the vert, the 40-yard dash, the 10-yard split. So, I mean, it's clear.
Good
Run stopping. Maybe let's get healthy and do some run stopping.
Nose tackle.
He doesn't. He's a 297, so at nose tackle, I don't think he's got enough weight to be that far inside. But let's see. All right, moving on. Chargers pick at number 137. Here they went defensive back. Now remember they had pick 137 and pick 140. This was originally pick 110, shifting to pick 137. And as you already know, at pick 137 and 140, they take defensive backs, but they take different defensive backs. Surprisingly enough, the first defensive back they took, Tarheeb Still out of Maryland, is not a height, weight, speed guy.
More like a developmental.
I'm guessing they see him as a fit at slot corner.
Sure. Okay.
And so, 5'11" and 5'8", 189 pounds, 4.52, 40-yard dash, 38-inch vertical. It's quite nice. That's the one thing on his spider web that really pops. So more than likely that slot corner and, run stopping capability. So here you see all yellow.
All yellow.
And as we get into
one bit of green.
Yeah, that vertical. As we go to pick 140, Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. Now we see a height, weight, speed guy on the outside, 6'3", 202, 33-inch arm length. Runs a 4.5. Vertical, once again, 39.5, 130 broad. 7.12 3-cone drill, not great. Probably shouldn't have ran that. I'm guessing that slow 3-cone drill is kind of indicating a little bit stiff in the hips.
Yeah.
Maybe. But the strange part is this was the one they took second. I know the picks are close together. There's only 2 picks in between. Who knows what went, but I would think they would have potentially taken Cam Hart ahead of Tarheeb still, but they
Well, they're trying to rebuild their cornerback room.
And what's key is this does that. This does help because you get 2 different body types. You get that slot corner. You get that outside guy. Couple of things.
What does that mean for the one that we drafted in 2021?
We'd have to go back and, we had 2 that were drafted in 2021 or 2022, excuse me. But yeah, if we went back to the roster review,
yeah,
the cornerback room is very light. There's just not a lot of bodies there.
Yeah.
So this does, double dipping at corner, right thing to do.
Yeah.
Getting 2 different styles of cornerbacks, also the right thing to do. Both corners are good at stopping the run. I'd rather have a lot of defensive linemen that were great at stopping the run, but
yes.
If we don't have that, it's also decent to have corners that aren't afraid to
stop the run,
put their face in the fan, as they say.
Yes.
Unfortunately, every time they talk about a cornerback making a tackle. The other thing, both played wide receiver in high school. So
if
should have decent ball skills.
if we want to, we can switch him to wide receiver.
Well, I think that's a little late. They were announced as defensive backs.
Yeah, but
they've been honing their craft at defensive back all through college. I would keep them on the defensive side of the ball. But there you have it. Tarheeb still. Cam Hart adding to that defensive back cornerback room.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Pick 181, round 6, running back Kamani Vidal out of Troy. Now,
this is your replacement for
having signed Gus Edwards, having signed J.K. Dobbins, having Isaiah Spiller in the room.
Does this...
Obviously, Jim Harbaugh did not get Blake Corum.
Why didn't you trade up for him?
But if you look at Kamani Vidal on the field, in the highlights that they showed, highlights show a potential Austin Eckler replacement. Seemed to have catch a lot of passes out of the backfield.
Yes, Austin Eckler
has a little bit of burst. 4.46 40. Nice speed for a running back.
Yes,
of 213 pounds. Nice vertical, 37.5, 120 broad, 3-cone drill, right around 7 seconds. But if you look at his height, he's in the 5th percentile, but his weight is in the 49th percentile. That is
crikey.
A lot of weight. That is dense.
There's
a lot of weight packed into a 5'7" and 7/8 inch running back.
That is unhealthy.
There was a running back for the Giants, and I'll never remember his name at this moment.
Yeah.
But John Madden always would get into the low center of gravity and how hard it was to tackle him. So, if John was still around and calling a Kamani Vidal game, I'm sure we would hear about not seeing over the line to see where he's going, and all of a sudden struggling with the low center of gravity. But if kind of a lottery ticket.
If he hits.
If he hits, this is going to be great for the Chargers.
If he doesn't,
Obviously different than Isaiah Spiller. But yeah, not one of your top end running backs in the class. Not somebody that you would, probably highlight and say that's the guy the Chargers need to go out and get. But they grabbed him in the 6th round. He was available. Let's bring him in and see how he works out. All right, so let's take a look at his RAS score here. On the size grade, poor with height, weight, and bench. Another task for Ben Herbert and the crew.
A lot of
when it comes
Ben Herbert to work.
Yeah. When it comes to the explosion grade, it checks out as a great. The broad's a little bit worse than the vertical, but on the agility, 3-cone, probably a little bit tight. Anyways, 8.88. I say that's a pretty decent RES score for somebody who's going to grade very low in the size. And, let's see what we have.
Yep.
All right. Chargers pick at number 225. I wrote here at pick number 225, why would you not draft Jerry Rice's son?
No doubt.
Trying to figure out why at 224 somebody did. And yeah. So Brendan Rice falls. Good for the Chargers.
I think he just wanted to stay in LA.
Round 7, pick 225, wide receiver Brendan Rice, USC. The web looks really good.
Yes.
6'2" and 3/8, 208 pounds.
Is that your
runs a 4.5, 36.5-inch vert, broad jump. So it fills out the web.
Is that
but if you look at his RES score, is yellow 7.17. So there's a couple things in there. But from all accounts, working, playing with Caleb Williams and a Lincoln Riley offense, looked like a very functional wide receiver, didn't he?
Yeah.
Played 2 years at Colorado, moves to USC, has lived in LA. His father, played, has been around the game forever.
So
this is a great pickup for a room that is deplete of players.
Talent.
Yeah, when Mike Williams, Keenan Allen got hurt last year, you're running players in there that you may or may not be comfortable with.
I'm very comfortable with Jerry Rice's son.
Yeah, and if Brendan Rice happens to bounce back and forth from your practice squad, worst case, I think you would still be pretty comfortable with Justin Herbert throwing him the ball.
Yes.
So, just not a spectacular RAS score, but really glad to have one Brendan Rice join the Chargers.
Yes.
And then a few picks later, round 7, pick 253. I think this was 4 picks from Mr. Irrelevant. You get wide receiver Cornelius Johnson out of Michigan. What I wrote, familiarity once again, coming from Michigan.
Yes.
As you triple dip at wide receiver. It's like going to Baskin and Robbins.
Yes, it's like going to Baskin Robbins.
And
triple scoop of wide receiver.
So I'm guessing if this is Jim Harbaugh saying, for whatever reason.
I think this says the top. Why spend a 5th round pick on a wide receiver when you can triple dip and?
Well, I think for me, the familiarity with Jim Harbaugh, knowing Cornelius Johnson for multiple years,
yes,
and him deciding that this guy has talent, enough talent to be our 7th round, 253rd pick in the draft.
Yeah.
We can teach him the offense. It just is a sign that Cornelius Johnson is coachable.
Yes.
Whereas if he would have went somewhere non-Michigan, you know, he may or may not know exactly what he's getting.
Yep.
I'm confident he knows exactly what he's getting in Cornelius Johnson. And if you look at his RAS score,
It's green, so
it's green, 9.46, height, weight, speed. Not the, his agility is okay, but he's a known commodity for this coaching staff.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's get him in the room.
Yes.
So
we got 3 lottery tickets. I think Lad's going to hit. See if one of the other 2 hit, and
well, I
let's
mean,
go.
when we did the roster review, the wide receiver room was bleak.
Was bleak.
Yeah. So after the draft, this is from Daniel Popper on Twitter. This is the list of 21 UDFAs.
Do you see the Michigan Center on there?
I do not, but a Michigan guard, Carson Barnhart, is on there. So no Drake Nugent. Not sure where Drake Nugent went. We'll have to look at that.
Oh my God.
And the only center is Bucky Williams, center guard out of Appalachian State.
Ooh.
So I think there was 45 members on the active roster at the moment.
Yeah.
There were 13-ish, futures.
Future contracts.
Yeah. Here's 21 UDFAs, 9 draft picks. That's, so now we're
Filling out the roster.
I think we got to, around 90. We'll see how things shake out over the next couple days to see how we get to that 90-man roster. As we're trending towards eventually training camp, right? Got a lot of stuff in between, but here's the list. There's a quarterback, 2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers. Like we mentioned, there's only one guy from Michigan that would, Harbaugh would know very well. Couple tackles, couple guards, lots of safeties. Yeah, so a lot of players from a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this list.
Sure.
No one name jumps out at me. But anyways.
Bunch of guys.
So.
Yes.
After 3 days of your 2024 NFL draft, how do you feel about the Chargers' 9 picks?
Fine. I mean, I would have wanted a wide receiver at 1, or at round 1 still. Would have wanted Brock Bowers. But we'll
I think
get there. But
I think with Minnesota not having to move up, that was a dream scenario to get 2 first-round picks.
I think we were
with
good.
only moving back 6 spots, but that turned out to be more fantasy, obviously, than reality. With that trade not happening, I think the mix of Joe Alt and Ladd McConkey,
Yes.
OT1,
I'm happy with
best route runner in the draft. I think those are good gets.
I'm happy with the mix. But
Having a plan moving forward at inside linebacker, you may not, but at pick 3, or, round 3, pick 69,
yes.
to get Junior Colson.
The
I
guy
think
that he knows.
guy that he knows. I think that's great. Double dipping at corner was needed, hugely needed.
Yes.
Triple dipping eventually at wide receiver needed.
Needed.
A running back and a defensive lineman, those were nice to haves.
Yes.
And but I thought for the first year of a Harbaugh Ortiz regime,
now we know what to
in
expect
LA.
for next year.
A little bit, but I thought it was interesting seeing them fill the fill the holes on the roster.
Yes.
And this, I think they set themselves up well. They have a functional offensive line. Bradley Bozeman for 1 year. They didn't reach at center, but maybe they find a center along the way here heading in. But I would have liked to seen center at some point, but maybe they're comfortable enough.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Favorite non-Chargers pick?
Yeah, go ahead. What was your favorite non-Chargers pick in the draft?
I mean, the Chiefs trading up for...
To everyone's dismay, the Chiefs trading up and grabbing Xavier Worthy.
Yes.
Has everybody angry at Buffalo.
Yes.
Like I said, the Buffalo Bills have built a great football dynasty. Named the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them. But
they should hang that banner.
Yeah. It's like
we built the 3-time Super Bowl champion.
It's like the
Kansas City Chiefs.
Four-time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hope
yeah, I mean,
doesn't happen. But.
We all know the Chiefs are going to repeat, and we're just waiting to get to the 2025 NFL draft at this point, right?
Yes. For
something to change, but yeah.
They're like the Vikings. They can hang the "We built the Chiefs"
banner in their new stadium when they get that new stadium.
New stadium. Also, we weren't in a Lizzo song.
No, but so what's your favorite pick outside of the Chiefs?
Okay. The Colts.
You like the Colts, Latu,
Latu, and then the second round.
In the second round.
Or third round. Third or second.
Who?
The wide receiver.
For?
The Colts.
Oh, so you like the Colts draft?
Yes, as a whole.
Latu and Adonai Mitchell.
I mean, they lucked into...
Yeah. So my two favorite picks for the first round were the cornerbacks going in the 20s. The Eagles taking Quinyon Mitchell at 22, not having to move up. And then the Lions being aggressive and moving up and getting Terrion Arnold.
Quarterback too.
Yeah, I thought those were two really solid moves to fill holes on those rosters, make those teams better teams.
Yeah.
But, all right. Hey, if you get a chance, feel free to comment below or to send us an email and tell us what your favorite non-Chargers pick or favorite Chargers pick.
Could be either.
Yeah.
Could be both.
And with that, we're going to get out of here. Yes. Thank you for joining.
Please
hope you had a great, happy NFL draft season. Somewhat exhausting, but
yes,
a lot of fun. Now we move on to OTAs.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah. So with that, we'll get out of here. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.